to your trustee. This can offer a number of advantages, including asset protection, privacy, and the ability. Oh, let me share the screen. Yes, y'all just gonna let me read that, right? Y'all gonna do that? That's how we do it. It's just gonna let me do that. Here we go. Somebody's coming in. Let's start over. What's the benefits of putting your car in a trust? A trust is a legal arrangement that allows you to transfer ownership of your assets, such as your car, to a trustee. This can offer a number of advantages, including asset protection, privacy, and the ability to pass down your assets to future generations. One of the primary benefits of putting your car in a trust is asset protection. If you own a car, it is considered an asset that can be seized to pay off debts or lawsuits. By putting your car into a trust, you can protect it from creditors and ensure that it remains in your control, even in the event of financial difficulties. Let me stop right there. The best way to protect a car in a trust is to make it an irrevocable trust. If it's a standard, living trust, but it's not irrevocable, whoever's involved in that trust will have issues with the trust. Say if the trustee has financial issues, tax issues, because in some senses, the trustee is considered the legal owner of the asset. The grantor, if he's got tax issues or other lawsuits, they can penetrate that trust, depending on how it's written. But if it's an irrevocable trust considered its own entity, and none of the parties involved have any liability, because that asset belongs to that trust. The trustee is just managing it. All right. So some people will say, if it's irrevocable, you can't change it, this, that, and the other. That's true. But if you have wording in that trust that gives the trustee power to buy and sell and title property and take title to property, you could put a car in the trust and it can come out of it, long as that language is there. And that's going to be a very important language to have in there, especially when you're registering the car. They are going to look for that. When I get to that part, I'll go into detail. Another advantage of putting your car into a trust is privacy. When you put your car into a trust, it is no longer in your name and therefore not listed as one of your assets. This can provide you with a sense of privacy and confidentiality and help to keep your financial information private. In addition to asset protection and privacy, putting your car into a trust can also allow you to pass down your assets to future generations. So depending on how you write this trust, you can say who gets it next. There won't no arguments over your property. Make sure nobody else is trying to get in. Doesn't look like it. We're still missing 2 people. All right. That means your car can be passed to your children or other beneficiaries without the need for probate court proceedings. This can save your loved ones time, money, and stress, and ensure that your assets are distributed according to your wishes. In conclusion, putting your car in a trust offers a number of benefits, including asset protection, privacy, the ability to pass down your assets to future generations. The other benefit that's not mentioned here, when you buy a car with a trust, especially if you take a loan out, that is considered a business expense. So that loan can be written off. Those payments, those monthly payments, you could write them off as an expense to the trust. Registration, any fees, oil changes, all that stuff can be become a tax credit. Now, if you have it in your name and you're using it what they call personal use, they're not going to give you that tax break on some of the stuff that you do, unless you're using that specific car for work-related stuff. And then you have to separate separate from what's personal and what's not. But when it's already titled to a trust, it's a business expense. When you open up a bank account for a trust, it's a business account. So That's the major benefit to having your car in a trust. All right. So those are the benefits. So you got to create your trust before you can buy a car, put it in, title it into a trust. You got to create a trust. Creating a trust is a process of establishing a legal arrangement which trustees hold and manage assets such as property or financial assets on behalf of one or more beneficiaries. The process of creating a trust involves several steps, including: one, determine the purpose of the trust. For the purpose of this webinar, you create a trust for a car. Now, this is what I do. I have several trusts. I have a trust specifically for cars, and I have a trust specifically for property such as a house or other valuable assets. I will not put a car in the same trust as a house. Why? I'm driving around in this car all day. I hit somebody. I'm at fault. And if my insurance doesn't cover everything, and something really serious happens and that trust, that insurance policy for the car doesn't cover everything, they can go after the other assets that belong to that trust. So if you have your home and your car in the same trust, they can come after that car, just like any other individual. A trust is an individual, it's a person. So it can be sued just like anybody, anything. So be mindful when you put in a car in the trust that you don't put it put anything in that trust that you don't want to lose. Okay? That's just the way I do it. So when I bought the car I'm going to show you that how I did it, there's nothing else in that trust but that car. That's it. So there you have it. All right, choose your trustee. The next step is to choose a trustee who will be responsible for managing assets in the trust. This can be an individual or institution such as a bank or trust company. So they're saying an individual could be a trust or a institution. And that static are being sacrificed. And that's if your stuff's not available, they can't hear it. Sometimes you got to feel your way through the dark. And I struggled all the way up into the minute. Peace, prosperity, and extreme wealth to all you guys.
This is Hindsight Radio. I represent it. The information station changing the nation.
Peace, peace. What's up, everybody? Peace, prosperity, and extreme wealth to everyone. Get my chat window up. All right, there we go. We got some people in here. We got Indie Circle Ministries is in here. Omar L is in here. Everybody. Who else is in here? Trying to get my other camera working. I don't know why my oh, I know what the problem is. That camera, I wanted that camera. My I don't know, I like that color that better. How it shows up. Other one looks. I guess they both look good. I don't know. All right, what's going on? It's Sunday, May 19th. 11 days to the month left. It's like, it seemed like I'm always saying this, like the time is getting away from me. I feel like time is not what it used to be. Like the days are blurring. Like I'm like, it'd be Monday, I'm thinking it's Friday. Friday, I think it's Monday. I really feel like there's some type of energy or some type of time warp going on, that we're in some type of vortex of time. And it's strange. I don't know. It could just be me. Maybe I'm just getting older and things. I know I got things to do, and I feel like I can't get them all done. Title of this show is Be Obsessed with What You Want. Whatever that is, be obsessed with it. If it's money, I start off with money because I remember people, oh, you're always thinking about money. You seem like you're obsessed. Yes, I am. I am. In a healthy way, though. Because I have to be obsessed with it in order to take care of my responsibilities, right? If you're not, what you're not thinking about it, you're not going to get it. Let me turn this music down a little bit here. What you're not thinking about, you are not going to get that. If you're not focused on it, you're not going to get it. You reap what you sow. So if money is what you need, if your finances is in, which a lot of people finances is not together, most people in America are living paycheck to paycheck. So all of them should be obsessed about money in a healthy way. Sometimes people are obsessed about money in an unhealthy way. Like they think about how much they don't have. It's hard to make money. Or they think of, I need to borrow money from someone else in order to pay pay my bills. They don't think about making their own money. It could be unhealthy. You could be a person who think about just spending money. I'm just gonna spend my money and enjoy my money and not plan your money out so that it doesn't run out. If you can spend your money all you want, let me start say not spend, circulate your money all you want. But if you're not doing it where it's coming back to you, you're gonna run out one day. So you need to be obsessed with your finances and your money in a healthy way, in a way that you will achieve prosperity and abundance, right? What is some ways that you can think of your money in a healthy way? You can always know that you're gonna always have it. You're gonna be okay. There's no such thing as running out of your money. That's not a concept. I'm not gonna run out of my money. Why? And when you put that energy out, situations and things will show up on how to help you manage your money where you won't run out of money. You see? Let me move this out of the way. Um, where you won't run out of money. See, when you and remember what I said before, that you have to write this stuff down. You got to keep this stuff written down. Yeah, you got stuff written all over this thing. Um, how do I keep my mind obsessed on my finances and my money in a healthy way that you might say, you want so much money, say 20 grand in the bank this month, $20,000. That's a small amount, right? But that should take care of most people's expenses for the month. Majority, 20,000. And you write that down. Hey, I have $20,000 flowing through my bank account this month. And you write that over and over and over and over. Now, you might not know how you're going to get 20,000 because your job is not paying you $20,000 a month. But guess what? Once you activate that seed, you plant that seed. This world is perfect. God made it perfect that it's going to work to get you what you want. I'm telling you, you're already getting what you want. No, I'm not getting what I want. I don't like this. What's happening right now? I'm not getting what I want. Yes, you are. Because somewhere you have thought up that thought of what you're experiencing right now. You have placed yourself in this position that you're in by the choices you've made. So yes, you got what you wanted. It's not what you didn't do it like directly, but you did it indirectly. That subconscious mind is powerful. It's just like Reverend Ike said, it's a secret operator. It is constantly monitoring everything. And as soon as you activate it, it's working towards getting it. you start getting suspicious of people and they're doing things to you and you're getting paranoid, guess what? That subconscious mind is going to vibrate and it's going to get you and generate that experience for you. See, you already experienced it in your mind the moment you conjured up the thought. You experienced that. You felt it. Think about it. The last time you got angry about something, last time you got paranoid or suspicious, and you got suspicious of someone, you had to imagine all of that in your head, which you thought might be the case. And you played that scene out in your mind. And you dwell on it and you dwell on it and dwell on it, and eventually you see it. That could be the reason why some of the relationships are not working out. I can tell you that. That definitely the case in my relationships. I had these thoughts in my head of the person, and I did everything in my power and worked towards that outcome to make sure that thought I had was true. And then when it happened, I said, I knew I was right. But little did I know, when I was operating like that, I was actually creating that. They weren't creating it. They were giving me actually what I was looking for. I created that. So back to the finance. Same thing with your finance. You create in your mind, your thoughts, what you want, how much money you want in that bank, how often you want it flowing through there. If that job is not paying you enough, you got to write down, this job ain't enough. Either I got to get rid of this job and get a new one, or add on to it, supplement it, or create my own legacy through the talents that God gave me and become a millionaire, billionaire, whatever you choose. The amount of money you want is up to you. Some people don't care about money. They don't want money. They have something else that they want. But well, in this system you living in, you need money. I'm sorry, you need lots of it. If you really want to enjoy life, you need a lot of money in living under this current system of things. You need it. You need a constant flow of money, consistent. So let me ask you a question. If you know that you need a consistent flow of money daily, you know this. Here's my question. How come you don't consistently think about that? How come you consistently think about, I need to go watch the ball game? Oh, I need to go hang out with my friend. Oh, I got to pick up and call my homeboy, my girlfriend, and gossip. We think about the time, or the phone. I was looking at my screen time last week. It was ridiculous. I said, man, I need to delete all the, I know I use them to promote stuff, but I'm going to start submitting stuff from my computer and leave that phone alone. Screen time was way up. And that's time I could have used to do something else. That's money wasted. Just stop and think about your thoughts. What are you thinking about? Are you thinking about your problems? So you got uh relationship problems. Are you thinking about that all the time? Because if you're thinking about that problem, it's going to continue to be a problem. So here's an exercise. So let's just say it's a relationship issue you're having and you worried about it. So write down how you want that relationship to look. Oh, that's fantasy. What if the other person, it's not about the other person. What they do is under their own control. How they want their life to turn out is under their control. You can only control you. So you write down, how do I want this? If I was in a perfect relationship, how do I want that to look? Don't put a face on it. Just write that out. Detail. How do I want that to look? Have you ever done that? I know I never done that. I've never been that specific. And that's why I got so many inspecific relationships. Because I wasn't specific. I didn't tell the universe what I actually wanted in a mate. The primitive, the instinctual stuff. You want companionship, love, and some type of connection, and of course the sex or the physical part. But really, that's not specific enough. How do you want to communicate on a daily basis? What you want your communication to look like? I would hope on that list you would say upbuilding communication, uplifting, words of encouragement, words of compassion and love and understanding. See, I've never done that. I started thinking, how do I, I'm good at concentrating on, I'm very good at making money. I mastered that. I mastered it to a degree, to the level of money that I've made so far. I got work to do there. But when it comes to like just generalized communication with my spouse and my family, with different people, I've never wrote down how do I want that to look. And I started doing that, like just writing stuff down. It made me more conscious of where I needed to make improvements. So on the money, if you have a issue with making money, having abundance of money, that means that you have not been specific enough on how you want it to look, how much money you want to make. Now, how you're going to make the money, put that off to the side. How do you want, think about it. If you had $1 million, what exactly would you do with that? I would actually write that down. I got $1 million right now, right? And what would I do with this $1 million if I had it? What would I do? Now, remember the story in the Bible about the servants or the slaves that the master left them all talents. One had one, I think the other had three and the five. And he gave it to them all according to their abilities, what he knew they can do. So reason why I bring that up is if you get $1 million, the master, which is God, the universe, the all in all, allowed to flow to you $1 million. Are you going to try to spend it all and not make it grow? Because the the real moral of that story is anything you touch must multiply in a positive way. Should put multiply in a positive way, but a lot of times we do things and we multiply it in a negative way. So we have the power to multiply and grow things, but how are we tilling that field? How are we growing that field? Is it full of weeds? Is it's our job to mind or foster the ideal situation for ourselves. So if you have $1 million, okay, I got $1 million. See, me, I would say, okay, I would take a years of my living expenses and put it to the side. Maybe 2 years. It's $1 million. Put 2 years, put it to the side. We're not touching that. Right? According to where I'm living now. Then I would take a portion. I would say I would take a portion of it and I will put it into something that will make it grow. Some type of investment, right? That's one. Put 2 years of living expenses to the side. And you don't have to be 2 years, whatever you want, right? The other two is investing into something that will give me long-term investment that will give me good return over time, right? And that could be I could buy properties, stocks, Bitcoin, crypto. Um, I'm not endorsing crypto because I believe one day all of that's going to crash. But in the meantime, you can make some money. But so that's investments. What would be my third thing? That's third thing. I put money aside. I look to make it grow. My third thing is I would look for, this could fall on the line, um, a way to start a business or invest in a business. That would also go with investments with number two. So I would, and now we look for, have a business that doesn't take up a lot of my time, but I can also make money off of that. Right? Oh, number four, charity. Number four would be charity. Who can I take this money, some of this money, and bless with or give and help them out? That would be charity. Because what you give is what you get. You give, you're going to get 10 times back. So you got to let it flow out there and let somebody else enjoy some of it, right? And then five, whatever I have left over from there, that will be my vacations, family time, right? And number six, whatever's there, I budget out, whatever's left after that, you can figure out for yourself. That's just an idea. These are just ideas, a little something to think about. So when I'm done with this show, whatever it is, it don't have to be money. It doesn't have to be money. Somebody said, "Nice watch, thank you, appreciate it." I haven't worn it. I have that just watched for almost 8-9 years. I haven't watched it in a while, and I looked at it. Hey, time to pull it back out. So now, once you make this list, you have to be obsessed with getting this done. Whatever it is, you have to be obsessed with it and not lose focus. Because see, the world want to distract you into entertainment and watching all of the playoffs. And I'm not saying don't do but it cannot dominate your time. Think about your day. What is it dominated by? Whatever it's dominated by, that's what you're obsessed with. And where your life is, wherever that is, financially, romantically, whatever you're obsessed with, that's the results you're getting. There's many people that fell by the wayside along the way with me that I know they can do very good things, but they allowed certain things to dominate their time, and eventually that thing that dominated their time took them away from that business that they said they wanted to start, that goal that they wanted to meet. Sometimes we allow a bad financial situation to help us continue to make bad decisions. I know people, they want to start stuff, but because they need money, they go and chase something else and put that off to the side, and they wonder why they can't get it going. You can't get it going because you're not dedicated to it. You're not consistent enough. I'm going to tell you, last week, Tuesday show, was it Tuesday show? One day last week, I'm not sure. I did a TikTok live too, and I did it. What I'm saying is, even today's show and another show, I did not want to do a show. I did not want to talk. To this morning, I came that close not to doing a show. But like, it never fails. Even when I really don't want to do it, and when I do it, guess what? God shows up and gives me what I need to say. And I want to remind y'all of something. A lot of the stuff I talk about is really stuff that I deal with internally that I'm working out for myself. So don't sit here and think I this stuff I'm talking about, I got it all perfected. No. I just know this is what I need to do. And I'm talking to you out loud about all the stuff I need to do. What relationships, family, making better communication with the family. All of those things is stuff that I'm working on, and I just put it out there to you guys because I'm sure somewhere in there you fit in along with me. We're not that much different when it comes to our issues. It's three main issues that we probably have. We have issues in the family, issue with the spouse, issue with our money and the jobs. There's not many things. We all basically living in the same system, experiencing things, the same things, but we perceive them differently. That's the difference. Our perceptions are all different, but the things we're running into, the overall theme of things, we're all encountering the same thing. We just perceive them differently and we react to them differently. There's some of you listen to me have a very good financial situation or family situation. That's not where your area of work needs to be. But there's something you need to work on. Why? Because that's why you're listening to me. Because you know I might say something that will push you to make a move. And the best way to make a move is just get up, write it down, and start, you know, writing things down how you want them to be. Write it things down how you want them to do. If you have a tumultuous relationship right now, stop thinking about how bad it is and write down how you want that relationship to look. Now be considerate of the other person also. You can't be selfish in this thing. How you want it to look. And you have to look through the lens of love and compassion and patience. You have to look through that lens, not through the lens of selfishness and I'm right, they're wrong. If you're doing it that way, stop. Don't you just writing your own disaster. Stop. But let's see. What time is it? 10:33. All right. I feel like so I told you, be obsessed with your desires. That means writing them down, remembering every day. Try to put to the side those things that distract you from your path. Now, I was reading, you know, I saw a TikTok and they were talking about the wisdom of Solomon. This is the Holy Bible um with the Apocrypha. So in here they also have the wisdom of Solomon, right? And you remember when when I told you wisdom was personified as the feminine quality. Well, this in the wisdom of Solomon, it goes into deep, deep depth of that. See, they took some of these things out, and because they took them out, we don't know what to look for. Men, think about it. If you knew that wisdom was a feminine quality, that is personified as a female or a woman or her, she, think about this. Wouldn't your dealings with women would be different? Because see, when you think about this, the way the church promoted religion to us, it put the male in that dominant position. And the women were second class, basically. Like I know in Jehovah's Witnesses, The women had to cover their heads when they were in front of a brother when they prayed. They couldn't wear pants. They had to wear dresses, and they never took the lead in any of the programs. Right? They on Sunday was all male driven processes, situations. Women respect. No, I believe we should respect each other as men and women. But let me read this to you. Now, I've always, since a child, always knew that women had a special intuition about them. And I always respected that. That's why I listen to a woman who has a good mind. I could listen to them. I don't have a problem. I never had a problem with that. Let me read this to you. Let me read it. Let me go back. I've read so much. I have went through this, so I have to go back to where it started. So give me a second. All right. I got so far. I was reading it this morning. Now it's always when I really need it. I don't really. I can go over this. Okay. It's the Wisdom of Solomon. If you guys should get this, the Bible with the Apocrypha, with the taken out text. Always read what they take out, because remember these books are copyrighted and they take stuff out, and they took it out for a reason. So I guess I'll start here. Why is my phone? Oh, some telemarketer. All right, here it is. We're gonna start here in Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7. I also am mortal like everyone else, a descendant of the first formed child of earth, and in the womb of a mother I was molded into flesh. Within the period of 10 months, compacted with blood, from the seed of man and the pleasure of marriage. And they just told you how conception happens. And when I was born, I began to breathe the common air and fell upon the kindred earth. My first sound was a cry, as is true of all. I was nursed with care in swaddling cloths, for no king has had a different beginning of existence. So what he's saying, everybody came into this world the same way. He said no king came into existence differently. Even your Christ. Even your Christ. Um, there is for all one entrance into life and one way out. Therefore I prayed, and understanding was given me. I called on God, and the spirit of wisdom came to me. I preferred her to scepters and thrones, and I counted wealth as nothing in comparison with her. So you see, I called on God, and the spirit of wisdom came to me. I preferred her to scepters and thrones, and I counted wealth as nothing in comparison with her. Neither did I liken to her any priceless gem, because all gold is but a little sand in her sight, and silver will be accounted as clay before her. I loved her more than health and beauty, and I chose to have her rather than light, because her radiance never ceases. All good things came to me along with her, and in her hands accounted wealth. I rejoice in them all, because wisdom leads them. But I did not know that she was their mother. I learn without guile, and I impart without grudging. I do not hide her wealth. They consider wisdom wealth. Think about it. If you had knowledge, you have everything. Knowledge is what gives you power to manifest. The knowledge of knowing how to
Decipher your thoughts, for it is an unfailing treasure for mortals. Those who get it obtain friendship with God. So, to have a friendship with God, you must have wisdom. Commended for the gifts that come from instruction. May God grant me to speak with judgment and to have thoughts worthy what I have received. For he is the guide even of wisdom and the corrector of the wise. For both we and our words are in his hand, as are all understanding and skill in crafts. For it is he who gave me unerring knowledge of what exists, to know the structure of the world and the activity of the elements, the beginning and end and middle of times, all alternations of the solstices and the changes of the seasons, the cycles of the year and the constellation of the stars, the natures of animals and the tempers of wild animals, the powers of spirits and the thoughts of human beings, the varieties of plants and the virtues of roots. I learned both what is secret and what is manifest, for wisdom, the fashion of all things, taught me. There is in her a spirit that is intelligent, holy, unique, manifold, subtle, mobile, clear, unpolluted, distinct, invulnerable, loving the good, keen, irresistible, beneficent, humane, steadfast, sure, free from anxiety, all powerful, overseeing all, and penetrating through all spirits that are intelligent, pure, and altogether subtle. For wisdom is more mobile than any motion. Because of her pureness, she pervades and penetrates all things, for she is a breath of the power of God and a pure emanation of the glory of the Almighty. Therefore, nothing defiled gains entrance into her, for she is a reflection of an eternal light, a spotless mirror of working of God, an image of his goodness. Although she is but one, she can do all things. And while remaining in herself, she renews all things. And in every generation, she passes into holy souls and makes them friends of God and prophets. For God loves nothing so much as a person who lives with wisdom. She is more beautiful than the sun and excels every constellation of the stars. Compared with the light, she is found to be superior, for it is succeeded by the night. But against wisdom, evil does not prevail. It keeps going. It keeps going. And I can keep reading, but I'll stop right there. So imagine if you was armed with the knowledge that the feminine aspect is wisdom. So now you know what to look for in a wife. A woman who has wisdom. I mean, look around us. Look around. There's not many of that going on. Wisdom. Everybody's chasing after the next fad or trend. You see? Everybody's doing things that are not wise. Why? Because we come from a system that taught us not to be wise. They taught us that we needed their education system to go get a job. That's not wisdom. That's not wise because that's not what God gave us. Remember, wisdom is worth more than gold, silver, and any riches you got. See, when they told the story of Solomon when he became king and God asked him what he wanted, he said wisdom. This here kind of not kind of it really opens your eyes up to why they took this out, so that you don't see the power of both man and woman. So they had to choose one. They chose one and put the other one down. And you need them together. See, that man, Solomon, knew he needed wisdom. He needed that feminine aspect of knowledge and understanding and compassion. That's why it's always a good idea to read um, the stuff they say don't read. Because when you go to read it, it'll surprise you. You're like, wait a minute, this is not what they said it was. It's actually what you need to complete what you think is the Bible, the full Bible. You need that information to complete that. You know? Time's it 10:46. I think I ain't gonna keep y'all here too long. I think I gave y'all the point. Read the Wisdom of Solomon. Very good. All right. I thank everybody for tuning in again and supporting the show. A. White says, Grand Rising and peace to all that strives to be righteous. All right. Peace, prosperity, and extreme wealth to all. Have a good day. Peace, prosperity, and extreme wealth to all you guys.
This is Hindsight Radio. I represent it. The information station changing the nation.